Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Last Friday marked the end of the first time I leased my body to science. I have a try-anything attitude in life, but I think I might have gone off the deep end of the study pool by joining a study that required a 6.5-month commitment. But I am a very curious dork. More than just getting paid to participate, I wanted to learn as much as I could about myself. Besides, I wasn't going to be sampling some new experimental radioactive supplement. It was only to study the effects that omega-3 fatty acids would have on my body. So, once I got signed up, I was so excited about all the things that I would get to do and learn. I learned in my MRI scans that I am not claustrophobic when I'm being slid into a very cool, breezy, and extremely noisy tube. When I have the earphones, they make you wear earphones, it's very noisy in there. When you have the earphones and the earmuffs on, it mellows out all the buzzes and banging enough that I actually fell asleep both times. I also got to have my body scanned, just like luggage would be when it goes through the TSA line. I now know how strong my bones are. I know how much lean and fat tissue I have and how it is arranged. I can also use that data to explain why I make a better boat anchor than a bobber. On the other hand, I do not do well with needles when they have their intention set to me. So, why did I join a study that required multiple blood draws, multiple IVs, as well as multiple fat and muscle biopsies? Well, not only were they going to be getting me to study the effects of omega-3s, I was using them to self-medicate myself some immersion therapy. I was either going to get over my aversion to needles of all sizes or pass out trying. But Thursday night almost marked the failure of my therapy. I had a very savvy nurse ask me right at the end of my second to last IV why I stopped talking when she started. I said, well, I did not want to distract you. And besides, I had to concentrate on my breathing and relaxing. She said, well, that's silly. I talk all the time while I'm doing this, and all you ever did to yourself was doing the exact opposite. She further gave me permission to keep talking by telling me about another research patient who relapsed by singing. She said this person, during the procedures, this person would sing low and soft when everything was going fine. She would sing faster and louder, and that was the team's cue to back off and add some more anesthetic. So, during my last IV, I gave this new relaxing thought another try. She was over here doing whatever she's doing, and I just kept on talking and talking. And I had no idea she was done until she interrupted me to tell me to put my arm down. And of course, so that, yeah, it worked. Just keep talking. Just do whatever comes natural. So, but I I could not wait to put that strategy to work the next morning, because anything would be better than what happened 6 months previous. During that first round of biopsies, I had no idea what to expect during any of those procedures. As a result, I got a crash course in Lamaze breathing and relaxation. They also had their own study singer on staff to help reinforce their efforts. However, all of their instruction and the singing of soft kitty, warm kitty, little balls, did absolutely nothing to make me relax as much as I needed to. And as a result, my legs took nearly 2 months to heal. So 6:30 rolls around a.m. and the poke and prod parade marched into the room all scrubbed up and ready to go. And in spite knowing what I had in store for me, I was also ready for them. They could not shut me up. I learned about honey, about bees and hives and what to look for and what not to look for. I joked about my discomfort. I asked the lipo doctor, as she was going around here, if she was planning on going through my belly button. I talked about bikes, I talked about brooms, I talked about bread and bricks. I asked the research doctor if he was gonna, it felt like he was taking a little extra down there. And then we talked apples, I talked pizza, and we discussed how my immersion therapy was going. We were done. Success! I cannot thank my hero nurse enough for giving me the best research revelation of all. And that is relaxing or coping comes in many different forms. For some people, it is enforced breathing and relaxing. For others, it is singing, and others, you just can't shut them up. So keep doing what is comfortable and natural, even when you feel that little pinch.
Get 1 minute for evaluation, please. Her time is 3 to 5 minutes, and she is going to be doing a roast of Mary. Please help me welcome Amy.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Mary. Mary, when I think about you and Toastmasters, I think about Hollywood royalty. Class, glamour, dignity, regality. You bring all of these things to Toastmasters. And when I think about our division gathering that's coming up this Halloween evening, and I think about you arriving, I think of that red carpet, and the lights flashing, while all your fans are standing going, Mary, Mary. You, Mary, are Hollywood royalty like Mary Lynn Monroe. And as you take those first steps, we'll all be watching from the sidelines, honoring you, waiting for our chance and our opportunity to approach you and maybe ask for your autograph. Just watch out for any fans in the area. Mary, you are Hollywood royalty for us in Toastmasters. You are our Mary Lynn Monroe. On a different tone, maybe a more specific to our club. Our Hollywood royalty is like Mary Tyler Moore. Mary Tyler Moore in the Mary Tyler Moore Show brought, she was sort of a wrapper of calm and a wrapper of peace and a wrapper of common sense for all the crazy people she was hanging out with. And believe you me, we're all crazy people. You probably didn't know that Mary comes to the meetings early and she looks in our tote, she takes the batteries out of the laser pointer, because if she doesn't, someone uses it, Dr. Ghosh is chasing it all over the place. So Mary just, she does a few things to make sure to mitigate that. Jennifer has some kleptomaniac tendencies. At the end of the meeting, you'll see her take the camera with her. Mary just subtly makes sure that the camera is back the next week. Again, we all have our crazy things we do. I have a fascination with superhero outfits. You may see my cape. Every once in a while, I do come to the Toastmasters meeting in full superhero garb, and Mary discreetly ushers me off to the nearest telephone booth where I instinctively change back to the appropriate attire. So Mary is like our Mary Tyler Moore. She brings calm and peace, an essence of class, to our Toastmasters Club. Mary, you are Hollywood royalty. Oh, excuse me. One of the things you also do, and why you do this, is that you follow the Boy Scout model of leaving a place better than how you found it. And for us, it is leaving us better people than maybe how we found us. Mary is Hollywood royalty. Mary provides Mary Poppins-like evaluations because just a spoonful of sugar helps that medicine go down. There's no doubt that Mary's not afraid to give us our medicine when we need it. Mary's evaluations are painted perceptions, pointed perceptions, painting pictures of our precariously prepared poetry, points out our pitfalls and preposterous proclamations. On the positive side, she promotes appropriate punctuations and pause to positively position our future prose. Mary's evaluations are supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Mary, you are our Mary Poppins of evaluations. Hollywood royalty, our Mary Lynn Monroe, our Mary Tyler Moore, and our Mary Poppins. You, in my opinion, deserve an Oscar for your role in what you bring to all of us in Toastmasters. And when you do step out on that red carpet, I will be at the front of the line with my autograph. Okay? Thank you, Mary, for everything you do. Hollywood royalty.
1 minute for evaluation. Speaker is going to be Jennifer, and she is giving her 5th speech from the Competent Communicator Manual. The title of her speech is The Price is Right, and she's asking for 5 to 7 minutes. Please help me welcome Jennifer.
Come on down. Is that your final answer? Survey says, do you recognize these? They're famous taglines from TV game shows. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmaster, and guests, what I'd like to do today is tell you a story. This is a story about me, the savvy Bob Barker, the host of The Price is Right, and my experience on The Price is Right game show. It was the summer of 2000. 4 of my friends and I traveled to San Diego, California for a week-long vacation over spring break. During our time in San Diego, we decided to take the train for a day up to Los Angeles. When we were thinking about what we could do in Los Angeles, we went over all of the possibilities. We wanted to find a place where we could see that big Hollywood sign and take some great pictures. We wanted to walk along the Hollywood Walk of Fame and see all of those stars we've seen in pictures by. We thought about going to see The Tonight Show with Jay Leno so that we could get some laughs and see his little head bob that he does. And another thing we wanted to do is to visit The Price is Right game show. Now, of course, over one day, we were there overnight, and one day we didn't have time to do all of these things. So we picked out a few that we wanted to do, including visiting The Price is Right. A couple of things you may not be aware of with The Price is Right. You don't get tickets to go to The Price is Right. You have to stand in line for tickets each morning of the taping, or at least that's the way it was in the year 2000. So we stayed overnight in a hotel, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, we woke up a little weary-eyed from the night before, so that we would be in line at The Price is Right at 4 a.m. So we took a cab down to the studio, and we stood in line. There was a chain link fence there, and so we might have kind of hung out on the chain link fence. It was 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning before anybody else even showed up, besides those of us that were standing in line to get tickets. So again, a little bleary-eyed from the night before, hair just up in a ponytail, nothing exciting. We wait for the producers to show up. About 8 o'clock in the morning, things started to move around the studio. We stood in line, and another thing you may not know about The Price is Right is that everyone who gets a ticket has the opportunity to come on down. And if you're not familiar with that, I'll talk about that in just a minute. Everyone has the opportunity to come on down, and the way they do that is that they line everyone up. They give the first about 250 people in line a ticket. And everyone with a ticket in their hand has the opportunity to walk past 3 producers. You have 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds to say why you should be on The Price is Right. So again, around 8 o'clock in the morning, the producers start coming on stage. There are 3 producers. There's the serious producer, who doesn't say anything. There's the friendly and welcoming producer who says, welcome, tell us what you're thinking. And there's the other one, who doesn't say a whole lot but whispers the whole time to the friendly producer. So again, my friends and I are in line. As we walk up, we get to see the person in front of us and what they say. So my friend Chrissy was in front of me, and she walked up in front of the producers, gave her speech, and walked away. So now it was my turn. What was I going to say in front of these producers so I could have a chance to get on The Price is Right? So I walk up to the producers, stand in front of them, and say, hi. My name is Jennifer Allen, and I'm from a small town in Minnesota where I know everybody would love to see me on TV. Thank you. What else would you say? That's the best I could come up with. So again, after everyone has had the chance to go through that line, we all file into the studio. Now, if you've seen The Price is Right on TV, you might be expecting a gigantic studio. It looks like there's hundreds and hundreds of people in the audience. Really, the way the studio is set up is there's a small set of chairs here, the middle set of chairs here, and the middle set of chairs here. That big studio that I was expecting turned out to be really small and very tight-fitting. So all of us with our tickets lined up, and we sat in our seats. I was sitting in a row, about the 3rd row back, with a friend on each side and our other 2 friends in front of us. The taping started. They give you all of the details of the taping. When this bright audience sign is flicking, you need to be cheering and screaming loudly. When the quiet sign comes on, you need to be quiet and not say a word. When Bob Barker comes on stage, you can't, if you happen to get the opportunity to go up on stage and meet him, you can't touch him. You can't pull on anything around him. You can kiss him, but only right here on the cheek. And that's it. And we were given other rules as well. Now, the premise of The Price is Right is that they call contestants down to contestants' row, and there's 4 of them at a time. Each one of them has the opportunity to bid on something, and if their bid is the closest without going over, then they get to go up on stage and play a game. So the show started. We were cheering wildly because that's what the sign was telling us to do. The 4 contestants were brought down to contestants' room, and the show kept going on. My friends and I wondering, are one of us going to get a chance to do this? So, 4 games had taken place. It was time for the 6th contestant to be called down to contestants' room. Remember, I'm sitting with my friends about 3 rows up. Rod Roddy, who is the announcer for The Price is Right, pulls out a card. My friend Katie, who was sitting in front of me, could see the card and said, "It's you, it's you." I said, "No, it's not me." There you have Bob Barker on stage saying, "We've had a winner. It could be all wins from here on out. Who is our next contestant?" Rod Roddy says, let's try Jennifer. Jennifer Hamill. That was my maiden name. I jump out of the chair, hug my friend, run down to contestants row, start clapping, cheering, hugging this girl next to me who was at least 6 feet tall. Anyway, I was able to bid on 2 items at The Price is Right. The first was a beautiful Waterford crystal chandelier. I lived in a 6-bedroom house at St. Cloud State University, and really no place to put a beautiful crystal chandelier. The other item was a bowling set. Unfortunately, I did not win any of those items. That being said, each one of the contestants called down to contestants row received a parting gift, and so I did win a beautiful Hoover vacuum, which I still use today. With that, I hope you enjoyed my story of The Price is Right. Whether you have a dream of being on a game show someday, and maybe even have lived that dream, I hope you enjoyed the story. Thank you.